Oh, that is fun. That is just super fun to just noodle away like that, friends. Hey, Eric Andres, your Guitar Sage, here for the Wednesday live broadcast. Thanks for joining us. We have Instagram in the house and Facebook and YouTube. And if you're new to these, you're going to have a lot of fun. Really what we're doing now is we're getting straight to questions. So before I used to teach a lesson, but why not just save that for the thousands of lessons that I have on YouTube, and then I can get straight to your questions since I'm live and stuff here. A big weirdo. I feel a lot better than I did yesterday because I slept last night. Wow, how about that? Stuff works wonders, sleep. So I'm not as salty as I was yesterday. If I climbed on you for not practicing, well, I probably meant every word of it. But I probably could have said it a little nicer, okay? So I'll be nice today. I'll be just as firm with you, but I'll be kinder today, okay? All right, good. All right, and so today I was going to be talking about the replacement from my first band, just some little bits and pieces to learn from this, okay? So I'll tell you about the first band really quickly, tell you about the replacement, and just, for me, I learned so much from others and their stories and their anecdotes and what have you. So maybe I can give you something today. So let's talk about it. So the first band that I was in, I joined when I was like, we're going to get into it. Well, I'll tell you about the giveaway here in just a moment. I had a little twist in thought there. So I'll tell you about the giveaway in just a moment. Before questions, remind me if I don't, okay? All right, so the first band I was in, I joined when I was about 16 years old. I'd been playing since I was 14, and I answered an ad in the paper. So someone was auditioning a guitar player. This is how, if you want to be in a band, if you want to join other musicians, you gotta go to Craigslist or a paper, or back in the day there was something called the Thrifty Nickel here in Nashville. I don't know if it's around anymore, but I loved that thing. It was free. I got it all the time, and it was just loads of equipment in there all the time, and musicians who wanted to meet with other musicians and that sort of thing. Now it's Craigslist, of course. So whatever it is in your town, look there, because it's a great way to get associated with folks who you're not already associated with, okay? You gotta take a gamble. It's like dating, okay? Sometimes you're gonna get a stinker, sometimes you're gonna get someone cool. So now with that being said, so I answered this ad and I went and I auditioned. I got in the band and played with them for my first 100, maybe 200 shows or so. that I ever cut my teeth on was with this band. And it was great. And I learned so much. But like everything changes, right? We know this about everything in the world. There's always a season. And with this band, the season was coming to an end in that, for me, I was ready to move on. I felt that I outgrew the band, and however you want to look at it. It's just like our minds, our philosophies and goals were going in different ways. I felt that I had outgrown the band because I was really passionate about my instrument and I did a lot of practicing, and I felt that there were some other band members that really weren't doing that to the extent that I was, and that can be difficult. Of course, it can be difficult to be the weak link in a band as well, where you have where everybody's just slaying it and you're trying to play catch up all the time, but a much better place to be in because everybody's lifting you up, Now, if you're being lazy, that's not cool to the other people in the band. But in this case here, I felt like I was doing more, and it was just time to move on because my suggestions and what have you, and you should be deriving information from this, by the way. So if you're in a band and you're wondering, should you be in it, or, these sorts of things, let this help you a little bit, okay? These anecdotes. So for me, it was just time. I had approached the band. I said, hey, I think we could be more professional here. I think we could do this better here and there and everything. And it was almost as if, they were offended by, hey, man, we're great. We sound great. They were offended by the thought that there is room for improvement, which in any situation, ever, if anybody ever acts that way, that there's an issue there, because I don't care how long someone's been playing guitar, the best of the best of the best are the people that typically are always saying, I can become better. Those that are mediocre or that are poor at a particular something typically feel very content with where they are, mentality, and believing that they're right where they should be, and there's no money, or there's no movement forward, okay? There's no place for them to move forward. But the best of the best know that it's a continuum. There's always room to grow, right? So with myself, I knew that it was time. I left the band, and my replacement, who took my place in the band, was a guy that I knew around town. He was, a very fast player. People thought he was a great player and what have you. And he was super kind dude. Anyhow, all that being said, he played very fast, but it never seemed to make sense with the music. Have you ever heard a player like that? I hate to name names, but the guy from Living Colour back in the day, and I forgot his name, but there was a band called Living Colour, and I think I got that right. But he would play really super fast, and you're like, okay, well, you can play fast, but it just always seemed so frenetic, and it didn't seem like it fit the music, what was going on, And so for me, that just confused me. So the guy that took my place was that kind of player. It was as if he said, I don't need music theory. I'm really good with where I'm at. I don't honestly know what his philosophy was. He was a super sweet guy, and he played super fast, but it just never sounded like it fit the song. It sounded like he was making up everything as he was going along. Now, just like I was improvising here, I'm making things up as I'm going along, but I'm staying in the parameters of acceptable notes that are within the song, okay? And that's why it sounds more cohesive than if I was literally just making up every single note and didn't have any sort of boundaries as to where I was going on the neck or with staying within a scale. Technically, I could play anywhere on the neck. You could see my hands go anywhere on the neck, and I could still stay in the key. But if I was just picking notes that were outside the key, it's going to start sounding really strange, okay? All right, so that's it. That's literally it. If you derive something from that, great. The Cult of Personality, Vernon Reed. Thank you so much, HK. And Vernon is, I'm sure he's a great guitar player, but it's just I didn't get it. Maybe it's me, okay? It's not you, it's me. So, all right, I'm going to start with questions today on YouTube because I think yesterday I started on Facebook, so that's what we're going to do, okay? Michael's saying UGSers. Yes, I love it. Are we all wearing our UGS swag today? I hope so. Oh, hey, let's go into the giveaway. Let's talk about the giveaway real quick, and then I'm going to get to questions. Sorry. The giveaway today is on Facebook, so we switch it up because not everybody is on every platform. So here you go. This is the post right there. This is how you do it. There's 3 things to do. Super easy. You see the 3 little buttons there? Just go right down the row. You don't have to know anything about Facebook to do this. You hit the like button, boom, you're 1/3 of the way there. You hit the comment button, and then you'll have an option to say something like, Eric, I love your beard, or something kind like that. Or I don't like your beard, or I don't like your playing. You talk too much. And then the one on the far right there is share. Now, when you press the share button, what's going to happen? This is going to appear, this other little frame here. Oh, we don't have it today. Okay, so don't worry about it. Something else will appear, and then basically there's going to be a little thing there where you can post, okay? So you'll do those 3 things, like, comment, share. When you hit the share button, another screen will appear, and then you'll just say, I think it's pin this or post this or something like that, and then boom, you're done. And you can write something or not, doesn't matter. And this is how it's going to work. After the broadcast, what we're going to do is we're going to look at all the folks that have done this, and we're going to pick a winner. It's so easy to do this too, friends. Look, we're talking about an over $500 value. Everything that's in the Unstoppable Guitar System, everything that's in 365, and watch the testimonies here, because, and for those that give testimonies, thank you. I so appreciate it, because it gives merit, right, where merit is due. If I'm saying that this is a cool thing and it's going to change your plan, that's one thing. But if somebody else who has nothing to do with it, except they're in the program, says something, it means something more, right? So thank you for those folks that do say something. But this is over $500 value, lifetime membership into the Unstoppable Guitar System. I constantly am updating new videos. In fact, I'm hoping by the week's end, maybe by today or even tomorrow, we're going to have a whole new series in there. It's almost a 3-hour series. It's called The Mastery of the Blues, and it's the beginner section. So, but boy, oh boy, you're going to love this stuff, okay? Over 600 jam tracks, tons of great stuff in this. And here's the deal. We do these giveaways all the time. So yes, what are your chances on winning today? I don't know, 1 in 50, which really is not too bad on a $500 prize, right? It's pretty cool. But we do this all the time. We do this all the time. So if you enter all the time, then chances of you winning are really highly likely. In fact, we've had folks that have won more than once. It's that highly likely that you'll win. Okay, cool. All right, let's get into some questions. And again, starting on YouTube, and then we'll head on over to Facebook after that. And yes, I'm feeling much better today, so thank you. I have just absolutely was a wreck yesterday because I didn't get a lot of sleep. I got 0 sleep, but last night I did, and I'm better. Okay. And I have the pedal cam set up today. If you guys have any questions in regards to effects and that sort of thing too, I can tell you what it is that I'm doing, okay? I did get some sleep. Thank you so much, Ryan. Indeed. Even when I'm grumpy. Thank you, David. If I send you the money, will you get a grown-up haircut? Ronnie is saying. Ronnie, I would love a suggestion on a new haircut. And yes, if you send me the money, I will get a grown-up haircut. I don't know what that is, and I don't know if I deserve a grown-up haircut because I don't know if I'm grown up yet. I don't feel like I am, so. But yeah, let me know suggestions because I'm kind of not digging my hairstyle anymore. I'm wanting something probably longer. So if you guys have some suggestions, let me know. I've been waiting all day. I finished the 30 lessons yesterday, and I love it. What do I use? This is Lori Jackson, by the way, on YouTube. What do I use now to really understand which scales to learn for my country style? I've got my chords down, but that's about it. Lori, literally, pentatonic scale, the major scale, the blues scale, those 3, but really the pentatonic scale and the major scale. And I showed you the major scale. So, Lori, here on YouTube, search YourGuitarSage most important scales, and you're going to see me talk about the 2 most important scales, pentatonic and major scale. The major scale because it comprises all the elements that we need in order to talk about music theory, to define chords, other scales, music, and all. The major scale, if you will, is the benchmark or the ruler, the carpenter's ruler, to do all the work that the carpenter does. Okay? Use the ruler on everything, right? Windows, doors, floors, all. So that's what the major scale is. The pentatonic scale is a derivative of the major scale, and it allows for some very simple sounding notes to sound great if you understand how to use it. It's like a hammer, if you will. A hammer is not very complex, but probably the most used tool in the history of ever. Okay? So get yourself a hammer. Get yourself to understand the pentatonic scale. And I have lots of videos for that on YouTube, YourGuitarSage Pentatonic. Obviously, if you're in the Unstoppable Guitar System, you're set for life because I have series built on this, okay? All right, great. Okay, Hussein, Eric, tell me how I can make my haircut like your badass hairstyle. Thank you, Hussein. So someone actually likes my hair. Thank you. So, just a lot of hair gel. It's not hair gel. It's what's that stuff called? Dipper Dew. You know, Dapper Dew. It's like a paste or like a clay. That's what you want to use. That stuff is really good, and not a lot, just a little bit. Eric, which type of keyboard are you using? So this is just a standard Apple keyboard, but I have a little thing where the two pieces sit together. You can get them off like eBay. You can buy this thing off of eBay or Amazon. So it puts the pad right next to it. It's pretty cool. Don't grow up. I agree, Celeste. All right, now guys, remember to put a question mark after it because I'm not going to see it in the same way, okay? If you don't have the question mark, I'm probably going to skip right over it, assuming that you're talking to each other. Okay, Bucklestar is saying, I have had about 5 guitar teachers, and after about 2 months, they seem to be uninterested in me and just want to teach me a song I don't want to learn. Bucklestar. So that happens. I have a lesson that talks about guitar teachers and how to pick a good guitar teacher because it can be difficult. And there's a lot of people that are teaching because they wanted to do something else and they couldn't, and now they're teaching, or they didn't, or they quit, or whatever. And then there's some people that genuinely love teaching. I genuinely love teaching, and if I never stepped on stage again, I probably would be fine with it. I really would. I've always loved to play guitar for myself, and I love teaching people. It's just always been a part of me. I'm not in a band right now, and don't really have a desire to, unless it was just the right thing, and even then, I'm having a lot of fun with what I'm doing here. So with that being said, a lot of guitar teachers are disgruntled, that sort of thing, or I should say some are. And so now if they're wanting you to learn a song, I think learning songs are a great way to understand an instrument because you're learning it in a way that's real. If you're just playing exercises all the time, exercises are meant to pull you out of your comfort zone because it's a real specific thing to do. You can play a song very lazily or pick a very easy song to do, and it's not going to move you much. But the end game is songs. We step on stage to play songs, not exercises, so we want to learn some songs. That being said, Bucklester, when my students would come to me, unless they were just steering in the entire wrong direction, I would always allow them to be a part of the process of what it was that we were going to learn. So they said, man, I really want to learn jazz. And they come in first day and they can't even fret. And they're like, I really want to just get straight to jazz. I'm going to be like, okay, slow down there. We got to learn the essentials too first. Just some basics about fretting, some basics about picking, because that's what you're going to be doing all the time. We need to build the foundation so we could put the jazz on top of it. So if they're completely off, then I would have to steer them, bring them back a little bit. But if they came in and every week they wanted to learn a Miley Cyrus tune or a Taylor Swift tune, who am I to say that they shouldn't be learning that? That's okay. I mean, it's totally fine. And music should, number one, two things that we can do with music that makes it a lot better is get rid of the ego, because there really should be no ego in it. It's just art. There's no right or wrong. So we should also keep an open mind. A lot of people will say, oh, this kind of music's the best, or this kind of, well, that's someone who's closed-minded because they're assuming that the world thinks like them, and obviously the world doesn't think like them. There's many different ways to think. And so we want to be diverse. So, something that you might be able to do with your teachers, Bucklester, is tell them what it is that you want. What is it that you want to learn? And if they say, great, let's do that, but here's the path that we're going to go, then that's probably going to be a good teacher. If they say, no, you don't want to learn rock guitar, that's for blank, whatever, that's for people who are mindless, then you have someone who's closed-minded. Even they're a teacher. They could be playing for 50 years and be a professor in a college, right? I've known many professors in colleges that were complete idiots, okay? So just because they have a degree doesn't mean that they're going to be knowledgeable, or doesn't mean that they're not going to be closed-minded or something, So help your guitar teacher help you by telling them what it is that you want to do, and hopefully if they're a good teacher, they're going to guide you there. If not, then move on to somebody else or drop them, Do you think that false improvising exists, or dissonant tones? I don't know what that means, false improvising. I've never heard of that. Are there dissonant tones? Yeah, sure, there's dissonant tones. If I play that chord progression just now, which was in A minor, if I played it in A sharp minor, then you're going to hear a lot of dissonant tones. I could still be improvising, not falsely, I'm just improvising, but I'm hitting wrong notes. So I'd have to know specifically what you're talking about by false. I've just written a great song, did guitar, bass, and drum track on it, but I cannot sing and have no band. Do I try to sell the song? How to sell and how much if a popular artist wants it? Larry, people don't sell songs, they get cut. And I'll also say they're the ones that determine whether the song is great. I mentioned this yesterday in Nashville. I see it all the time on Instagram. Write a song like, this is a hit song. We're writing a hit song. It's like, that's not for you to decide. We, as the listeners. Thank you. We have a donation. Who donated something here? Subskip. Sage, never grow up. The hair's fitting you. If I'm not interested in blues right now, will I gain anything from blues lessons other than more finger time on the fretboard? Craig, love the way that you asked that question. Number one, thank you so much for the donation. We will be using that for lunch today, the lunch fund. So thank you so much, Subskip. Very kind of you. And a great question, and you phrased it really great as well. Because here's the deal. There's always going to be something that you're going to derive from learning a different style or doing something even that you don't want to do, right? If you're learning a different technique or something on the guitar. But this is what I say. There are 10 million different things to learn. Dear Lord, did someone just give $100? Am I right? Rob. What? Rob literally sets the standard right there. That is, we've never had someone donate $100. I just saved a bunch of money by switching to UGS. So here is to the lunch fund. Rob, you're the coolest, bro. Thank you so much. That is so kind. We've never had that before. So super, super duper cool, Rob. Man. Love it. Let me know if you have a question too, Rob, because I'll get straight to it. So there's always going to be something that you're going to get from learning a different style, but there's a million things to learn on the guitar. Why not just spend time doing the things that you want to do? Now, that doesn't mean going outside your comfort zone. You got to go outside your comfort zone. But let's say you just want to learn rock guitar, and you're like, well, I wonder if I should learn some jazz and blues too. Trust me, you could spend an entire lifetime studying rock guitar, and you'll never get to it all. So my suggestion to you, Craig, is if you're not interested in blues right now, don't go into blues right now. Eventually, you may like it, but be immersed in the stuff that excites you. And that's with everything, friends. Not just guitar. This is everything in life. This is what I do. Is like if there's a particular subject that I'm very excited about, I start reading about it, because all of a sudden, every part of my being, all of my cells, my brain wants to know about this. So like if I'm reading something, it's going to stick. If I'm reading about something that I'm not interested in, it's not going to stick because I could give a crap about it, right? So that's what you want to remember. So stick to the stuff that you want to learn. It's going to help a ton, okay? And Rob, again, thank you so much. $100. That is so kind. We're going to feast like kings, all right? All right. So yeah. So Larry, back to yours. Talking about the song. I'm sure it is a great song, but again, that's all up to the listener, because one guy's going to like it, another person's not going to like it. You can't sing it. Okay, that's fine. So there, you don't sell a song. What you do is a song becomes known, and then someone says, I love that song, I'd like to record it, and then you have a publishing deal typically. So it's unfortunate for folks that just have one song, because you typically, and I'm not discouraging you here, but the chances of you getting it cut by somebody are really, really slim unless you make it your life's goal to get that song cut. That's called cut, okay? My wife has written 2,000 songs. She's a songwriter here in Nashville, and they are, every song that I've heard of hers is an amazing song. Some of them are more amazing than others. And to date, I bet you she's had 100 or 200 of those songs recorded. So about 1/10 of those songs are recorded, okay? And it may not even be that many. I know it's at least 100, but now the songs that have, gotten to number one, she's had one number one. She's had maybe 3 songs on the top 20, 2 songs on the top 10, or 3 songs on the top 10, I think, maybe 4 songs in the top 20. So there's a whole people dedicate their entire lives, 10 hours, 12 hours a day doing this. But Larry, all that being said, you could seek out a single song contract by getting in touch with somebody here in Nashville. But chances are, because songs are, there's so many of them out there, people aren't like looking, they don't take solicitors, if that makes sense. People who aren't known yet in the industry. So how do you get known? You hit and you grind and you grind and you grind and you write and you grind and you write and you grind and you write so many songs that eventually someone says, have you heard of Larry? Oh yeah, he's a new guy in town, he's writing. That's how you show up on the radar. It's a big deal. There's a lot of work to it. I wish I could say it's easier than that, but it's not. And that's just being honest. I could lie to you, and then that make you feel good right now, and then you'd spend a bunch of wasted time with all this zeal, and then you'd end up being sad because I didn't tell you the truth, okay? But Larry, it's not to say that you can't have it done. It's just here in Nashville, they just don't really do that, This cute YGS logo, who designed it? Thank you. We had a contest many years ago now, and someone designed that. I don't remember their name anymore, but I awarded them. It was like $500, I think, was their bounty for their reward. Question to UGSers, just signed up to GCC. Not that impressed. How much is it to actually join UGS? I don't know what GCC is, so I can't help you there, Terry. But Terry, if you want to know how much it is to join UGS, go to YourGuitarSage.com/UGS, because there's several different ways to do it, okay? So depending on if you want to do time payments or all in one or that sort of thing, okay? So there's many different ways. I'm not leaving you in the lurch. There's just, that answers everything, okay? Okay, coolio. I need to move faster here with these. What are some of your favorite blues songs that inspire you? Thank you. Anything by Stevie Ray Vaughan, anything by ZZ Top. I love those. What are some of the easier rock songs with mostly power chords besides Smoke and Iron Man? Cogito, I teach a lot of them on YouTube, so I don't know what it is that you like, but anything by Black Sabbath is pretty easy. Modes are a killer to remember. Any ideas to aid in memorizing them? Really, there's only 7 forms, and realistically, a couple of those forms are in the same form. So really, there's only like 5 forms that you need to learn. They're not that difficult to learn. You just have to dedicate your time to do it. But unless you're using modes, I'd say don't be thinking modes, because you're causing more work for yourself and not a lot of gain at all. Okay. Can you recommend a good soft guitar bag? Yeah, Blake Guitar Solutions, Blake. They're amazing. Check them out. They create an amazing soft guitar bag. I find myself playing normal notes. How can I start using sharp notes? Okay, so sharp refers to, the way you're using that is not proper. I'm just going to be honest. It's not proper. Sharp means, it does not mean what you think it means. And it doesn't have to do, you're saying normal notes. What's happening is you're playing scales, and it's not impressing you because you're probably not playing phrases. So if you're in the Unstoppable Guitar System, look at the Minimalistic Blues. That will help you take notes and make phrases out of them because you just have words right now and you're not assembling phrases, if you will, okay? Or if so, they're not impressing you. That's what you need to do. It's not really about the notes so much as it is how you're using the notes, okay? There's a whole, so many lessons on that right there, and I don't know where you're at. So start with the free course. You're going to hear me talk about the free course a lot, my friends. YourGuitarSage.com/30. Literally the top 30 lessons that every guitar player since the beginning of time should have watched. If they didn't, they need to. If you're trying to do a shortcut and skip over that sort of thing, good luck. That's all I'm going to tell you. Good luck. There is not a way to get to excellence without digging in the dirt and doing the work, okay? I use a lot of the notes, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, but how can I start using the sharp ones? You can use the sharp ones, but it's not going to do anything different for you is what I'm saying. It's not going to do anything different. Get in the free program, understand basics of music. Otherwise, it's like I'm going to be speaking Mandarin to you, okay? And if you don't know Mandarin, then you're going to have issues with it. So there's no answer that I can give you that's going to help you other than start there, get a good understanding of music, and then stuff's going to start making sense. But I can't give you an answer that will help you. There's no one that could give you an answer that will help you with specifically the way you're asking it there, okay, my friend? Eric, you do still thrill exercise to warm up every day, or what technique do you recommend? Marcus is saying. So I don't do warm-up exercises. I typically jump into whatever it is that I want to do. That's the fastest way to get to whatever I want to get to. Now, sometimes I'll do that if I'm trying to get to a new skill level at a particular something. I will push myself, and so doing that, some exercises with a particular speed will definitely help you, okay? But I don't do that. I jump into whatever it is I'm wanting to do right away and then work on that thing. Can you go into more detail on the magic pattern video you posted yesterday, the different uses for it? Scott. So I won't go into any detail with that, yes, because the video's out there, and it's not going to be, anything I tell you now is not going to be as detailed as what I told you in that video. But essentially, the magic pattern says, if anytime you have a note, let's say this is a major chord right here, right? Right here. This is a major chord. If this is a major chord, anytime I find a major chord on the fretboard, anytime you find a major chord on the fretboard, there is a minor chord 3 half steps behind it. Every time. So here's our major. If I go down 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, here's a minor chord. That will work, that they share notes and just works every single time. Some of you say, oh, I know that. It's called relative major and minor. Nope. That's relative, works with relative major and minor, but this is for every single major chord, and this works for every single minor chord in every single key on every single fret. It doesn't matter where you're at. It works on every instrument as well. So this is a minor chord right here, right? B minor, then that means 3 half steps up. 1, 2, 3, there's a major chord. Every single time this works, okay? How will that help you? It'll help you with understanding the fretboard better, with songwriting, with lead playing, with rhythm playing, all, okay? Are arpeggios worth knowing when learning to play? Arpeggios are just when we break a chord up like this. That's all an arpeggio is. Or if you go, that sort of thing, a string when you're raking across the strings. They are what they are. It's a tool. And so worth knowing, yeah. If you want to sound good, they're cool. What to do if you like different genres of music, but the majority of the country has a different taste and preference. How to survive and earn. So has a preference for majority of country, has a different taste. That's a very specific question. I don't know where you live and that sort of thing. But what I would suggest doing is being the best at what you do. If you're the best at whatever it is that you do, you're going to get attention. I can guarantee you that. However, you could be mediocre at a million different things and no one's going to notice you. So the key is to be excellent at what it is that you do, and people are going to get you noticed. You're going to make money. Okay, good. Eric, you won't let them convince you to change the sagebrush, will you? No, I will not. I've liked your Facebook page. Where do I comment? Ken, there is a post on that Facebook page. We just showed you the picture of it. So on that Facebook page, that's where you want to go. It's going to be the most recent post, or one of the most recent ones, okay? I'm an unschooled, long-time player struggling to shift from minor pentatonic soloing in hard rock to major key pentatonic. Any tips? Yes. Follow some videos on it. Okay, there's no real quick tip that one can give for something like that. You need to practice major pentatonic over major major chord progressions. I would suggest the 12-bar blues chord progression. So if it's an A 12-bar blues, then you would want to solo major pentatonic over the top of it. So that's the quick way to do it. Otherwise, I've got lots of videos on this, and other people do as well. So yeah, that's what to do. Okay. Good. Looking for question marks. I can't find the current jumper on Facebook, only the leftover from yesterday. I don't know what you mean by jumper. The post? Yeah, there's a post on there, Michael. Yeah, there should be the post from yesterday. It should be the most recent one. That's the one, right? Right, Chris? Oh, there it is, right there. Look, that one right there, guys. So that's the one. It was the one from yesterday, so do that one. Okay? Oh, there is a new one. Yep, it's a new one today. It's that guy right there. It looks like this, friends. If you want to know, look at that guy. This guy pointing at me, I'm pointing at him. That guy right there. That's the one you want to look for, okay? Okay. Is it okay to leave a tube amp on standby for 30 or 40 minutes in between sets, or should I turn it off? Yes, it's fine. Is it harder on the tubes to turn it off and then back on? Yes, but I don't know how many minutes that is. But yes, you don't want to just turn a tube amp on and start jamming out right away. You want to let it warm up for a minute. And that's typically what the standby is for anyhow. Okay? All right. That's right. Now I can get a haircut and lunch. Charles, you entered the giveaway by doing what I just said and earlier in the program. How do you prevent someone from claiming your song? James is saying. You don't. My wife is a professional songwriter and has had songs stolen from, in fact, a very famous songwriter right now, and he's been stealing songs from all sorts of people in town. You'd love for me to give his name out, wouldn't you? Oh, I want to so bad. Oh, he's getting nailed, though. He's getting sued left and right. But the guy steals songs from everybody. He stole songs from my wife, stole songs from all sorts of people. And it just shows that, obviously the guy doesn't have the talent from within to pull it out, so he has to steal other people's songs. And this is what you find a lot of times when someone is just not creative enough. They steal other people's songs. And there's no way to prevent it, just like there's no way to prevent someone stealing your Amazon package, right? You could stand guard, but if someone's going to steal it, they're going to steal it. So there is no way. You can have a song copywritten. All my wife's songs are copywritten, and all the songs that are being stolen are copywritten. But that doesn't stop someone from stealing it, because now you got to take them to court and everything else. So it's a process. Okay? Speeding's illegal, but people do it. Okay, how to survive in a country listening to different genres. Okay, we talked about that one, right? Okay. What was her number one song? Her number one song was Guy Walks Into a Bar by Tyler Farr. Country song. What's the point of playing notes nobody can even process? That's true, right? Eric, how can I decide what I should learn, blues or jazz? What do you like, Hussein? That's the answer to your question. What do you like? Don't overthink this stuff. It's just simple. That's like saying, how do I know which girl to date? Which one do you want to date, dude? Right? Just like, go after the one you want. 30 years of playing, lost to memory loss and major heart attack. Any advice on starting over? Still feel the passion. Anthony, start over at 0. That's the only place to start. And then just be passionate about it. There's no other advice other than just be passionate about it, you know? Be passionate, spend lots of time, don't skip any steps, all that, all those things. All right, I'm speeding through these. Yeah, if you're addressing somebody else, put their name as well. That'll keep me from putting your question on the screen, right? Hello, I'm a guitar teacher, 27 years old, and after 2 hours of lessons with my guitar on my lap, my upper back hurts and I have to lie down for a while to relax. What can I do? I would suggest yoga, you know, or find out if you're slunched over. If you're slunched over like this, then your back's going to hurt. You've got to strengthen that back up by sitting up. It's most likely your posture, and yoga can help with that a lot. So those are the two things I would suggest. Watch your stature, watch your posture. Keep your lower back somewhat arched, not big time, just slightly arched, and then also do yoga. It's amazing. Using a looper, a good way to practice to learn by yourself. Follow some how to loop lessons, right, on YouTube if you don't know how to do that. Otherwise, play some chord progressions like I did just now. I had that chord progression and then noodle over the top of it. That's the best way to do it. All right, good. How do you learn from 8 tracks? I know you can't control it, but how do you feel about other online sources and teaching channel ads being placed right before almost every video of yours I open on YouTube? Well, number one, I'm flattered because that means that, that they know people are watching my videos, and that means that they want to have my students, and so I'm flattered. I think it's great. I don't feel anything towards it. It's cool, whatever. Doesn't bother me. Man, there's a lot of resources in the world. Anybody who's saying that there's not is not awake. Anything that you want is available to you, but it's not going to be delivered to you like Amazon. You've got to go get it, right? So I'm not worried about that at all. Okay, Peyton Manning and Brad Paisley. That's a question. I just ordered a new, so Evan's saying, I just ordered a new American Professional Strat in Olympic White with maple fretboard. I'm so excited. This is my first American-made Strat. Do you remember your first American-made Strat, Eric? Yes, I do. Yes, I've had several, and I've also had several of the Mexican-made, and I love them all. They're really cool. All right. Okay. Well, I'm flying through these, but these are going fast. Okay. Yes. Some of these I'm going to skip if I can't make sense of the question. So here's the other thing. If you're writing a question, please, I know some of you are from different countries and what have you, and it can be difficult, but to your best ability, write something that I can understand. Otherwise, I'm just reading your question, and then I'm not understanding what you're saying. So please try your darndest to make it explicit. Okay, Coolio. Yeah. Okay. All right, good. So I got 2 questions here. Headed over to Facebook. One more here. Do you have any videos featuring how to jam all by yourself, like 12-bar blues? Yes, I have tons of those. Search YourGuitarSage Blues. You're going to find a ton of them, okay? And then obviously in the Unstoppable Guitar System, I have like a bazillion. Literally a bazillion. Is dumping a bandmate as bad as dumping a significant other? It's not fun to do. I've had to do it. But here's the deal. If it is such a big deal to do that, probably shouldn't have that musician in the band anyhow, because that means you've got someone who is so attached to being that member of a band, but yet they don't want to do the parts necessary, like, say, play in time, or practice, or show up not drunk, or whatever, or the millions of things that band members do that are absolutely stupid that lose them the job, okay? I can't tell you how many bands I've been in with drummers that would not play to a metronome. And look, they don't even have to play to a metronome when they're playing at practice or live, but dear God, at least practice to it so it sounds like you're in time, right? And I've literally had drummers get offended that I would ask them to play to a metronome, as if their time was so good that they didn't need to. Obviously, if I'm asking them to, there's a problem. Okay? So, yeah, it's just unfortunate. And when you run into that, it's like, what are you going to do? It's like having a girlfriend or a boyfriend who, when you want to break up with them, they're all freaking out, as opposed to going, yeah, you're right, things just aren't right. You know, that's what we'd prefer. Doesn't always work out that way. All right, get to some questions here on Facebook. How do I relax my fretting hand? I experience pain in the thumb when it is lower on the neck. Tips, please. James, the reason that you're experiencing that pain is for the same reason if you go to the gym and you're lifting too much weight that you're ready for. You're not ready for that yet. So I love that you're having that pain there, because that means you're going for it. You're pushing against your comfort level, and that's great. But the pain's going to be there until you maintain a certain amount of time playing the way that you're doing right now. So you're demanding more of yourself right now. If you continue to demand more of yourself, then what will happen is your thumb's going to get stronger and you're not going to have that pain as much anymore, okay? So it's just a temporal thing. Just keep pressing on, and you're going to get stronger. But that's what it is. You're going to the gym and you're lifting more weights than you actually can right now. So you're tearing your muscles down, if you will. You're not tearing any muscles down. You're just wearing your fingers down here, okay? Analog pedal versus digital pedals. What is your thoughts for a beginner? That's a real generic question. So I have some amazing analog pedals. I have some amazing digital pedals. So anybody who says otherwise, like, oh, definitely always analog, or oh, he's definitely digital, just means they're closed-minded and they're not looking at the whole scope. Okay, so I have tons of analog equipment, tons of digital equipment, tube equipment, solid state equipment, and I love all of it for different reasons. Okay. It depends. If you're comparing two different things real specific, then we might be able to talk. Otherwise, it's a very broad question, if that makes sense, okay? What instruments does your wife play, and which one is her preference to write songs with? So she writes mainly on the ukulele these days, but she writes on the guitar and the ukulele, and piano some, but almost always now the ukulele, because it's nice and small and she can bring it with her everywhere, so that's what she does, you know. Can you physically stretch your ring finger backwards on the first knuckle so it eventually have a bit of bend so you can play a B? Pretty flat fingered right now. Travis, chances are, like 99% chance here, that it doesn't really have to do with you stretching your finger out as much as it has to do with you developing good technique, okay? Since I've been playing, I don't think my hands are any more stretchy. They're just able to do things. I'm able to do things with more precision, and I'm more observant, and my mind has done it more times to where I can do it quicker. But really, it's just a matter of practice. And, you know, obviously I talk about this a lot in the video where I'm talking about chording and being very cognizant and focused about what you're doing when playing those chords in the free program. Do that. Go by that specifically and do that. You're going to be fine. It's going to take time, obviously. With all this stuff, every new thing that we do is going to be awkward at first. Very important lesson right there. Every new thing that we do is going to feel awkward at first. And we're going to say, but I can't do it. Yeah. No shit, Sherlock, right? It's the first time you're doing it. Sorry, I'm just being honest. It's the first time you're doing it. Why would you think that it's just going to come to you, right? I say it all the time. I suck at Mandarin because I do not study. I'm not in China. My parents weren't Chinese, and I don't study Mandarin. So that's why I suck at it. So if I started, I'd go, God, this is hard, because I've never done it before. There's 3-year-olds speaking Mandarin, okay? It's not that I'm dumb. It's just they've been practicing. I haven't. Okay, that's all it is, and that's all everything is. And as soon as we truly understand that anything that we thought was once out of our grasp is not out of our grasp anymore. It's right there. It's just a matter of I got to do the steps to get to it, but it's literally right there. To what degree would you be influenced by by availability of a whammy bar when choosing a guitar. Jude, it depends on what I'm trying to do. So like if I'm looking for a rock guitar, or something maybe even heavy metal, then I'm probably going to want a whammy bar, right? If it's rock guitar, then I may not. I've got lots of guitars that I consider rock guitars that don't have it. My SG has one. I rarely use it, but I have a couple. This one has one. I use it not for rock. I use it for other things like a Chris Isaak song here and there and those sorts of things. But I don't use it very rarely. I don't use it very often, I should say. So it's not going to move me too much unless I'm specifically looking for that, Can you help me buy a Firefly semi-hollow body guitar? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Okay, great. Again, if you can with these questions, you can be more specific. Then when your time does come up and I can answer your question, then I can give you an intelligent answer. Cool. Okay. I see a majority of country artists that capo nearly everything and never go past the 5th fret. Are they just mediocre players who got lucky? Roddy, just because you see somebody on stage does not mean that they're a great player at all. Most of the country players, when you see an artist playing, they're not some great guitar player. They're just a great show person, and they write good songs and they sing good, and any combination of them. Hell, I've seen them where they suck at singing, they suck at being a showman, and all the rest. But somehow, for whatever reason, through other means, maybe marketing or whatever, they're there, So, so that's just a way to do things. I mean, I use a capo all the time. Using a capo doesn't determine whether you're a bad player or a good player. It just shows you that you know how to use a capo, which is great. Some people, they're going to sit there and use bar chords because they just don't know how to use a capo. But it definitely doesn't make them a good player or bad player just because of that. Cool. All right, I'm headed over back to YouTube. Let's talk about this really quickly. There's a post. People have been asking about it. It's on Facebook. This is how to do it today. This guy right here. This is the post that you're looking for, okay? I've got my guitar behind me. I'm wearing my jean suit, and I'm pointing at that thing. That's the one you want to go to, and there's 3 things you need to do. Hit like, hit hit like, hit comment, and then put your comment in there, and then lastly hit the share button. And then what you want to do is you want to, another page will appear, and then you can post it, okay? You do those 3 things after the broadcast. Obviously, you need to be following the channel, right? If you're not following the channel, then you got to follow the channel. The Facebook page, I should say. Like it. What else? That's it. And then we're going to pick one winner from there, okay? Cool. Cool. Anthony on YouTube is saying, I'm on year 2 of learning and I just can't understand pentatonic scale and soloing with it. Do you have a video you recommend that really breaks it down into it's more understandable? Okay. Yes, I've got lots of videos on this. Search YourGuitarSage call and response, YourGuitarSage minimalistic blues, YourGuitarSage pentatonic. Tons of stuff on YouTube, way more stuff inside the Unstoppable Guitar System. In fact, usually when you see a video on YouTube, I'll create an entire series inside the Unstoppable Guitar System that breaks it down more, that gives you more worth and all the rest. Like, for instance, the cage system I have on YouTube inside the Unstoppable Guitar System. The cage system, it's like caged on crack, if you will. It's not just major chords, but it's minor chords, it's minor 7th chords, it's dominant 7th chords, I think major 7th, dominant 7th, minor 7th, major minor. So you've got hundreds of chords that you derive from the cage system, okay? All right, coolio, cool. All right, I'm going up just a little bit here. Hey, Eric, can you use coconut oil on the fretboard and tuners? Fretboards, coconut oil is pretty cool. But I've never heard of it being used on the fretboard and tuners. I would not do that. I wouldn't do that because it coagulates at like 70 degrees or something like that. So I just wouldn't do that. I've never heard of that. I don't know. but I'm trying to give you a accurate answer without knowing for sure, but I don't know. How to ear train best. I want to have perfect pitch understanding. We had a big conversation about this yesterday, perfect pitch. So perfect pitch, from my understanding, and this is from a layman's perspective, read a lot about it. Perfect pitch supposedly can be taught to children, not so much to adults. With that being said, there's a guy named David L. Berg who says that he can teach it to adults. So just you look him up online. Perfect pitch is his method. And but bottom line, perfect pitch is what it is. It just is what it is. Devang, what you want to develop is you want to develop relative pitch, and you can do that very easily on YouTube. Search YourGuitarSage ear, and I'll introduce you to this concept. Obviously, inside the course, inside the UGS, I have a whole course on this. But start watching some videos and applying the practices that folks are talking about in there. Okay. Inside the free program, I think I've got one called Hum and Hunt. I think that's in the free program, where basically I teach you how to start this process of like humming a note and then the process for finding it. It's not just randomly looking for a note. There's definitely a method. If you're not doing the method, then you're probably going to get lost. So this is something that's developed like everything. Okay, you just have to do the practice. Okay, Coolio. All right, still looking for question marks. I'm going up here. Any thoughts on player strats? No, I don't have any specific thoughts on them. Same thing with PRS. Do I like them? No, they're okay. They don't move me in any way. Do you have any videos featuring how to jam all by yourself? Okay, so we talked about that. We talked about what videos those were, right? Yeah. How come many guitar players hate the song Wonderwall? I guess because it's overdone, maybe, you know. If I can't afford a Fender Strat, is a Squire good enough to start on? Very subjective. Yes. I had a Squire. I think that might have been my first Strat, was a Squire Strat, and totally acceptable to start on. What is your dream guitar if you could design it? Walter, I'm actually designing it right now. So it is, I think we have some pictures of that too. Chris, do you have any pictures of that we can show them? This is the in process right now. Ooh, isn't that pretty? Ooh. So this body weighs less than 3 pounds. Obviously, it's built with a Stratocaster in mind, but the pickups are going to be a humbucker, a single coil, and a P90. It's going to have a tremolo system. You can see there that's a kind of a candy blue burst. It kind of bursts out into a darker blue there. There's going to be some taps on it so that you can even take the humbucker and make it single coil. All sorts of really cool stuff. That's John Scott that you can see there. That's at Bluesman Guitar Vintage, which is in Spring Hill, just a few miles south of me here. And he's made guitars for a lot of rock stars here in town, a lot of country stars here in town. He's a superb guitar builder. So many different things I can tell you about the guitar, but okay, great question. Okay. Here we go. So, is there a trick to learn root notes? Not sure what that question means. Is there a trick to learn it? Nope, there's not. If it's an A chord, you find that the A is the root, and then you say A. A is the root. So, like, I don't think there needs to be much of a trick. Unless I'm not understanding your question correctly, the root is the root, okay? Not much of a trick to it. I'm assuming because they are named differently, the pentatonic is different from the blues. Yeah, let's talk about it, Ryan. So the blues scale. So here's the pentatonic. This is A minor pentatonic. Goes like this. So it's 2 notes per string. And then we can finish it out right here. The blues scale includes what's called the flat 5, or the blue note, and it sounds like this. Okay, so they're very similar, but not exactly the same. It just has the flat 5 in it, okay? And that flat 5 is a big deal because if I was just playing, so let's check this out. If I go back to this loop, okay, and I'm just going to play pentatonic for a minute here, okay? So I'm just going to play pentatonic, right? Now, if I introduce the blue note, it sounds more like this. Bad example, but essentially what we're doing is we're adding that 5th note in there, right? That flat 5. And it just creates a little bit more of a bluesy type sound, okay? All right, sweet. All right, great questions. Getting better at muting, what's it say here? Getting better at muting unwanted strings using my palm, but having a hard time using the left hand while playing. Any tricks to learn besides tons of practice? Nope, it really is just tons of practice because you're talking about little minute things that you're doing, specifically you, Dale, that might be differently than what I'm doing. So the only way for you to get to that answer is to sit there and examine your own playing and say, well, now what's making that noise? What's muting that note? What's not muting that note? It's etc. Okay? Okay, great. All right, only look for those with a question mark here. What makes a classical guitar sound different than a regular acoustic guitar? A classical guitar has nylon strings, so it's a warmer tone. It's not as bright sounding. And what we mean by bright is if I'm talking like this is very bright, whereas if I'm talking like this is very dark. It's like way in the back of my throat, right? So when we're playing classical guitar, it sounds a little bit darker like this, as opposed to out here and bright sounding. On the Strat, you know, the difference would be that's kind of bright, and this would be darker. Okay, that's what we mean by dark or bright. The guitar is constructed slightly differently as well, but like the fretboard's a little bit wider, typically doesn't have a truss rod, that sort of thing. Okay. Please only put a question mark too if it's a question, not a statement. How do I go from just now learning caged, unlocking the neck, etc., to playing more impromptu instead of reading chord sheets? Dakota. The only way you do anything is to do it, and it's going to suck at first, okay? I guarantee you there's no one here watching that the first time they got on a bike, it was just like that, okay? If they're saying so, they're a liar, because it's never existed. Even if you got it the first time, it was still awkward, okay? It's a new thing. It's new to our brain. Unless you did it in all your past lives or something like that, then if you believe in that, then you're not going to be good at the bike at the beginning, okay? And so you're not going to be good at improvisation in the beginning. So how do you get good at it? Stop reading the chord charts. Start improvising. Truly, that's how you do it. And it's going to suck at first. You want to get better at it, watch some videos on it. Watch minimalistic blues. Watch the call and response videos I have, those sorts of things. What would be the best first pedal? So typically I wouldn't answer something like this, but this is a good question. And a typical, the first pedal that you want to get, in my opinion, would be either a good overdrive pedal, like a legit overdrive pedal that you're always going to have, like a tube screamer or an OCD. And again, that's somewhat subjective, but a good overdrive pedal. But even more so than that, like the Line 6 M5. I think that's a great pedal because you've got delays, reverbs, overdrives, modulations, wahs, all sorts of bits to it. You can break it out with an expression pedal, and now all of a sudden you have just about every effect under the sun, and it's like $120. So that's the first one I would suggest, the Line 6 M5. That is in my kit store, by the way. If you guys want to check that out, kit.com/YourGuitarSage, there it is. Go to that store if you have any questions on pedals, amps, guitars, that sort of thing, like what I would recommend. Picks, capos, all that stuff. We had enough people asking about it that we said we need to make a store where folks can go get it. And it's typically going to be like on Amazon or something like that. But sometimes it's going straight to the manufacturer. But that's where you want to check it out. Okay? What is the best non-tube practice amp? So the word best, I wish, was just gone from the internet because it's a matter of opinion, right? So best non-tube practice amp, and it's like, how loud do you need it? There's a lot of variables there. So a lot of people are liking the Katana, the Boss Katana amp, but I don't think it's a best. I just think it's something that's good, a lot of bang for the buck right now. The Boss Katana, okay? Do you have a list or diagram of pedal arrangements? William, I do, inside of the Unstoppable Guitar System. On YouTube, I do have a video for the arrangement, the order of pedals. You could always search YourGuitarSage pedals on YouTube or YourGuitarSage order, pedal order. I think that might even be the name or something like that of that specific video. So check that out. Okay, but here's the quick rundown of it. You want your wah pedal at the front, then your overdrives and distortion pedals after that, typically in that order. As they get more aggressive, you want them closer, further down the line. And then you want things like your modulations and that sort of thing, modulation, pitch control, that sort of thing next. And then you would have delay, and then you would have reverb, and then you would have your volume pedal, your looper pedal, those sorts of things at the end. Now, with that being said, people do it all differently, but if you were to, that's the general consensus of what I just told you. That's the general consensus of how to do it. But again, people do things differently for different reasons. Like they might want the looper at the beginning so that it goes through all their effects. So as the loop is playing, they can sit there and adjust and tweak all the knobs, and they don't have to sit there and play. The loop is playing for them. So there's many different reasons. On my big pedal board, I had a looper in the beginning and a looper at the end for that specific reason. So I could play something, and then I could go and adjust all the knobs while the loop is playing instead of me playing it. I could concentrate on the sound, adjust my knobs and all that good stuff. And then I also had one at the end where most loopers reside so that I could have all the effects being printed to the looper, being recorded by. Okay? Make sense? How can I create a backing track in the moment and play over it? Is there pedal software I can use? Get a looper pedal, Medicine Man. That's what you want to do. Get the TC Electronic Ditto pedal. That is also available on kit.com/YourGuitarSage. Okay? There's all different kinds that you can get, but that's a really just bare bones, no nonsense, get in, get out type of thing. Okay? And James, I'm going to say it's the TC Electronic Ditto pedal. That's the best one in my opinion. With that being said, what Thrash Metal said here, Boss makes some major looper pedals that do other things. RC 200, 250, 300, I think, are the upper ones. I think I had a 200 or a 250, or it was a 2 something. Had like 5 different pedals. So you can get kind of complex with it. But they also take up a lot of room, and more is not better necessarily. If you're really into looping, I'd say yeah, but otherwise a Ditto pedal by TC Electronic is going to do everything you need it to do, which is record and overdub and stop and all the rest, okay? Been following the First 30 Lessons course. Nice. Thank you, Mike. And I really like it. Helps a lot as a beginner to have a guide so I don't get lost in information. Thank you, Mike, from your mouth to the world. As a rock metal listener, what do you recommend next? Mike, well, if you want to go further into the program, obviously we have 1,000-something videos and we're building more. I'm dropping like a 3-hour course in there in the next few days. So constantly updating that system. That's why a lifetime membership is the best deal, because you're getting so many lessons for so cheap, okay? Okay, that being said, in fact, it's less than 50 cents a lesson, which is crazy. Like, if you visited me here in Nashville, it'd be $200 a lesson. So what to do next? So if you don't want to go further down into the unstoppable guitar system, or you have $0 and you're just like, no, I just want to learn heavy metal. Well, a lot of the concepts that I teach are applied towards that. But let's say you still don't want to do that, then I would suggest, Mike, learning some songs, learning some heavy metal songs, learning songs. That's really what's gonna get you to sound like your guitar heroes, you know? All right, good stuff. I'm having trouble with bar chords on my acoustic steel string. Is there a practice routine or something you can help me with bar chord transitions, be it bar to bar or bar to open? I have a video on that, B-man, but essentially it's this. Whatever, you just take 2 chords and 2 chords only, and you're going to transition between the two over and over again at a nice slow speed while being hyper aware of what it is that you're doing. The other thing that you want to do is you want to think about the chord that you're going to while you're still on this chord. So if you're going from an E to a G, then you're going to think about the G chord here, and I'm thinking about the E chord before I get to it so that I can have all my fingers lined up already in my mind's eye before I get to it. If you're not visualizing it, you're not going to get it in time, okay? We use visualization all the time. You do it all the time. When you're turning around a corner, right, to go driving in your car, when you're like, I'm going to go to the store right now, you're using visualization. You can see the store, you're getting in your car, you're not getting in your car for no reason. So you got to use this visualization for everything that you're doing. The more you use it, the better off your outcomes are going to be, okay? Poor Man's Looper is GarageBand app from Apple. Yeah, indeed, yeah. Thank you, Karen, so kind. Yep, purchase UGS if you're into it. How do I learn to understand the fretboard and play using all the frets? Author, don't worry about playing all the frets. Playing all the frets, playing in all the different keys with all the modes and all the chords is not going to make anything sound any better. We've got to get out of this mentality of more is better. It's not. The right stuff of more can be good, but more is not better. So learn to play all the frets. With that being said, I have many different ways you can do this. Obviously, the first place you want to start is YourGuitarSage.com/30. Start at that free bit where it shows you how to memorize all the frets, shows you how to understand major scales all over the fretboard. We'll show you music theory, show you what chords work well together, etc., etc. Otherwise, the 365 guitar plan that I have, that's a great place to go. You can check all that stuff out at YourGuitarSage.com/UGS. Okay, cool. Hey, why stop at a looper? Get an auto tuner while you're at it. Laugh out loud. I'm not sure what you mean by that. An auto tuner. Oh, an auto tuner. Why stop at a looper? An auto tuner. Oh, what, for your guitar? Yeah, I suppose you could do that, Terry, if your guitar's out of tune, but obviously just tune your guitar, right? But the looper, Terry, no joke, it's a great use because you're going to be able to practice a lot. So unless you have a dedicated guitarist who will just vamp for you all day long, hey guy, play the A minor chord right there. Yeah, do that for 3 hours. Unless you got that, then get yourself a looper pedal because they're like $100 and you'll be able to use it forever. And you'll be able to get better at the guitar without having to have someone burn through a bunch of hours, right? So I learned solos from different songs. I can incorporate everything I learned into a solo. Okay, so if I learned solos from different songs, how can I incorporate everything I learned into my solos? Jay, it's a process, okay? So what you want to do is you want to get a chord progression that's similar to maybe the solos that you're playing. Obviously, they would need to be in the same key for all those licks to work, but it's just an understanding of, well, what key am I in? So when I'm teaching solos and what have you, I always tell you, okay, the guitar player was thinking this. They were thinking A minor or A blues. Here they are. They're doing this lick. You can see it right there. Now they're doing this arpeggio, whatever. And as each one of these bits go into you and you start understanding, now you're getting this understanding for the guitar, okay? Start with minimalistic blues. I talk about that all the time. That's on YouTube. Your Guitar Sage minimalistic blues. Your Guitar Sage call and response. Those will help out a ton with understanding this stuff. Okay. If I'm practicing around an hour a day, how often should I change strings? Dakota, don't change your strings unless they sound bad or they go out of tune. Don't worry about that. You just keep your head down and practice. Truly. Okay. There's not an answer to that. It depends on how you're playing them, how hard you're playing them, what kind of pick you're using, what kind of skin sweat you have. All of that stuff matters, okay? How do you feel about the iRig as a portable amp solution? I think it's great. I have one, and I have lots of different things like that to plug in and just go. So I'll use it with my iPad, and I love it. It's awesome. All right, great. When are you going to have your Ninja pedals in the store, say in the Guitar Safe store? Been wanting to order one. Brian, as soon as it's ready, my friend. It's just we're still working on it. We're still perfecting things. When something goes to market with me, I want it to be right. So if a pedal comes out, I don't want the light to not be light enough or to be too bright. So when you step on it, it's blaring you. It's so bright. And can't have any clicks, all the rest. So we're working on all those bugs, getting those out right now because that takes some time. So Brian, we're still doing it, trying to make it just pro. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for asking, buddy. What are some good solos to learn to help develop better technique? My soloing is very basic right now. Depends on what you like. If you like blues, then I would learn some blues solos. Rock, learn some rock solos. I teach a lot of this stuff on YouTube, so my suggestion would be for you to search Your Guitar Sage and then your favorite artist, like Your Guitar Sage Led Zeppelin or Led, or Your Guitar Sage, I don't know, Coldplay or whatever, and find out, Van Halen, and you're going to find out, okay, here's this lick, what have you. And you're going to be able to learn some new solos, okay? The other thing that you can do is you can learn to improvise. Minimalistic Blues is a fantastic video on YouTube to watch. Search Your Guitar Sage Minimalistic Blues. You're going to understand what I'm talking about. And you can be learning this technique while it is that you're actually... Brian, dude, you're the man. Thank you, brother. So kind of you. And Brian has given before, so Brian and I chat. We've chatted before because we have at least two common interests. He's my brother from another mother. Loves guitar, loves surfing. So, and we're both surfers and we both love guitar. So, Brian, thank you, bud. So kind. We definitely are going to grab some lunch today on you and our other friends here on Rob and all. So thank you. So kind. Let me know if you have any questions, Brian. Any other questions, that is. What are the two pedals you merged into your Ninja pedal? I don't even have it sitting here right now. I think it's in the other room. Where is it? I don't know. Yeah. This place is a mess. So essentially it's this. I mean, they're our own designs, but, you see my electric guitar there, right? It looks a little bit like a Stratocaster because I don't want it to look like a spaceship because no one wants to play a spaceship. And there's a reason that this guitar design is the most classic guitar design of all time, and it feels good and everything else. Why change something that's not broken? The only thing I changed is the things I thought were broken, the things I thought could be better. And so same thing with this pedal. So it's inspired by a Tube Screamer, by the old Maxon or Ibanez Tube Screamers. So that's half of the Ninja, and the other half is my favorite rock overdrive pedal, which is the OCD made by Full Tone. So essentially, I went to Mark Kerr from Kerrtronics in Houston, Texas, a buddy of mine and a ninja at electronics, and I said, man, I want this pedal that basically has this vibe of this pedal and the vibe of this pedal, and I want it in one pedal, but I want to be able to go back and forth between both of them, or turn them off, or have them together, because one of my favorite things to do for a real sweet sound, especially for soloing, is to take the tube screamer and turn it on going into my OCD, and that overdrive that's overdriving this pedal creates this super sweet, silky, buttery, lovely sounding tone. And so I told him, I said, I want that all in one, and I want to be able to adjust all the knobs and everything else. And he said, I can do that. And it's been just about a year now that we've been working on it. Literally, it takes a while to create Ninja stuff. So those are the two pedals that were merged, if you will, or the odes, the tip of the hat to those two pedals, because I love those two pedals. They're amazing. But they definitely are our own design. Alter Destiny. The hardest thing for me is that I can't visualize what I would like to play, but you can visualize what you can play, but I can't because I don't understand the fretboard. Oh, the struggles. Alter. Start on the free program. I promise you, the only reason that anybody's having any issues on the guitar is because they just don't have the knowledge. And I'm giving it to you for free. Literally, okay? Visit me here in Nashville. It'll be well over $1,000 for us to learn that material right there. Well over $1,000. Okay? Or it's there for you for free. The link's in the description of the video. Take advantage of it, okay? Okay, look, CB Man here. Thank you so much. I did attend your top 30 lessons. You've helped me exponentially. Thank you so much, B Man. Appreciate that. That's where to start. Okay. How many signature guitars will be available to buy? How many colors to choose from? Great question, Medicine Man. So we're basically going to have 3 different tiers. At least right now, that's what we're talking about. So we're going to have the custom, which is going to be the one that you saw there with a translucent finish. We're going to have red, so like a candy red, a candy blue, and like a candy black, or translucent black, translucent red and blue available that bursts into the edge and becomes darker. And those will be the custom guitars. That's the top of the line ones. And then we're going to have a classic level, which is going to have the same body, but the guitar neck will be like your standard kind of maple neck. It won't be stained the same color as the body. The custom will have the body, the neck is the same color as the body, okay? And then lastly, we're going to have a standard, which is going to be where we're saving some money, and where you will save some money is like the paint job and that sort of thing. The hardware is going to be the same, but we're going to save some money on the body, okay? So there's going to be 3 different ways you can do it, and the colors are going to be black, red, and blue. Cool? Okay. Not in a current band right now. I'm just so busy with what I'm doing here. I don't have time for a band. Does UGS include 365? It does. It does. Do you eventually get headaches from all the questions? I don't. I love the questions. They're fun. They keep me on my toes, and they help me to understand where it is that you're at and what needs you guys need, so that I can help you more, right? If I don't have my finger on the pulse of what's going on, then how am I going to know what to teach you, right? So it's great for me to get inside your minds and to be able to go, okay, this is what they're thinking, this is what they're asking, so how can I get that out there for them, you know? Thank you so much, Ryan. I so appreciate that. Yeah, I've got a great crew. Jason, Mike, Chris, Henson, John. I got a lot of pros with great attitudes that are working for me. Just awesome dudes. And without them, I would not be able to do it. So thank you guys. Yeah, they're awesome. And we will be using those lunch funds today in honor of you guys. So thank you so much. Pricing on the guitar levels. I don't have that yet, Karen, but I can tell you they're not going to be cheap. The custom one is going to be over $3,000. the custom one. The classic is probably going to be in the $2,000 to $3,000 range, and I would like to get the standard under $2,000. So, why so expensive? Well, because number one, these are custom made, handmade here in Nashville, or just a few hours south of Nashville. It's in Spring Hill, by a guy who's been doing this his whole life, and he's created guitars for all sorts of rock stars, all sorts of country stars, and he knows what he's doing. So these guitars, people say, well, I can get a guitar for $100. Of course you can. So can I. I have $100 guitars. I also have $15,000 guitars. So you get what you pay for, and there's nothing wrong with having a $100 guitar, but you can't expect the guitar to play and feel like a $3,000 guitar. You got a $100 guitar. It is what it is. So these are not for folks that are looking for budget guitars. If you need budget guitars, I can help you with that. Okay? There's plenty of places that sell budget guitars. Does the world need another budget guitar? No, thank you. It doesn't. And who will be building the guitars? It is Bluesman Vintage is the manufacturer. Now, they're going to be our own design, but they're going to be made. I'm not sitting there making guitars, right? I'm going to design them. I'm going to say, this is what I want. They're going to be my custom specs, all the rest. And then I'm hiring them to make the guitar because I don't make guitars. If I made it, it would be terrible because I don't know how to make a guitar. I just know how to design it and say, this is what I want. They make the guitar, all the rest, okay? And Chris, yes, you can pre-order one. We will be taking pre-orders. As soon as I have my hands on the first one, then it's rock and roll time, okay? And then we definitely will be taking pre-orders, yeah. Have I ever played a 7-string? I have. I've played them. And it plays like a 6-string with an extra string on it. It's just a little bit wider neck, and you can play one more note there. So how or can I get the sweet, clear, high tones out of the Champion 40? Or do you know not a tube amp? Okay, so I have lots of tube amps. And so, but I don't have the Champion 40. If you want to get sweet, clear, high tones out of your Champion, then, and you're not getting that now, then I would suggest turning up the treble. If it has a presence, turning that up, messing with both of those. If they don't, if there's not a presence, then you're going to be looking at the mid-range and or the treble, okay? If you're still not getting the sounds that you want out of it, it's probably your guitar. Make sure that you're using the pickup that's closest to the bridge. That's going to be the brightest one. And make sure that your tone knob is all the way to 10. Start there. That's going to get you those nice, sweet, clear tones up at the top there. And then you can always back it off, okay? Will there be a wide neck guitar? I don't understand that question, Anthony. If you could be more descriptive, let me know. If you're talking about my guitar, it's a standard width. What are the names going to be? The names are going to be Custom, Classic, and Standard. Custom, Classic, and Standard. And I believe this is going to be the E series, this first one coming out of the gate. But you're saying, what is the name? So it's funny because we've had several names going back and forth, and I think I might have settled on a name just as of the other day. In fact, I need to ask my guys what they think of it because I texted them what I thought should be the name the other day, and I won't share it with you guys yet because for several reasons I won't be doing that yet. But soon you're going to know, okay? Maple, rosewood, or both. So the body is ash. In fact, it's swamp ash, okay? The neck will be maple. The body is going to be chambered. So one of the many different things that's going to make this guitar unique is, this guitar right here is, this is actually one solid piece of wood, I'm pretty sure. Many guitars are not. It's two pieces bookended together, but this is just one solid piece. So literally, it's just one solid piece. If you were to open it up, it's hollow in here, right? Because you need a place for the wires to run and stuff, but it's not that hollow. This guitar, basically, what John does, and this was one of my requests actually. There's several different things, but one thing he did is he takes the top off of the guitar, takes it off. So he taking the top layer, cuts it, lays it to the side, and then, and I'll have pictures of this. I already have some pictures of it. Basically, what he does is he creates little, not honeycombs, but basically little columns in here. And what that does is it relieves the weight of the guitar, and it also helps the guitar be more resonant. So not only does it help, you can play the guitar all day long. My guitar's, the body of it, literally less than 3 pounds. Crazy, right? So it's going to be really nicely balanced. It's not going to be heavy, and it's going to resonate more. These are all the types of things that even if you go down and you spend $5,000 or $10,000 for a brand new custom Stratocaster, you're still not going to get that. There's lots of things you're not going to get on that. So I'm so excited about this guitar. I just wish it would happen sooner. Of course, don't we all? We wish everything would happen sooner. As far as the price of the pedal, I believe that we're going to settle on $189. So if you were to buy these pedals separately, they would be well over that. And you're going to be able to do more with it. It's going to save real estate. It's going to save you another power bank in your pedals. So for all those reasons, this pedal is going to be absolutely amazing, you know. Oh, thank you so much, Jay. That's really kind. Well, I'm no star. So he said, I cannot even lie. I'm kind of starstruck with you even replying to me. You taught me the basics of music theory. I played for 10 years before I actually put effort into learning the theory. Your videos. Yay. Love that, Jay. Thank you. Well, I am definitely no star. I'm just a dad, and I teach guitar a little bit on YouTube. So, but that's super kind. Thank you. Who's your next guest on the show? That is a great question. The next guest, his name is RJ Ronquillo. I think I'm pronouncing his name correctly. Ronquillo. And he's a great guy, a fantastic player, and a great teacher. And he's here in Nashville. He does a lot of live stuff. So you might find him playing with artists, might find him playing on Broadway. And so I'm very excited to have him on the show. He's going to be here Tuesday or Wednesday? Tuesday of next week, okay? So there you go. So join us next week. You're going to see an announcement about that, but he's going to be here. And then we have Lance Allen is going to be coming in, I think, the next week. So we're going to try to start getting some more folks on the show so that you guys can ask them questions, because everybody's going to have a different gig, a different thing that they do. Cool? All right, I'm going to get to one more question, and then I'll jump over to Facebook and then make sure there's no questions there, and then we're going to be out of here, okay? What are your thoughts on putting nylon strings on an acoustic guitar? Don't do it to get that thinner neck. No, don't do it because for many reasons, don't do it. It's not made for that for lots of reasons. Like the nut is cut differently, so you'd have to create a nut. Can't use the same nut. The strings are much thicker, okay? So Barry, don't do it, okay? Where's the best placement in your pedal chain for a Clover preamp? I just got one the other day and a little confused of where to put the best sound on my chain. Brian, typically you want to put a preamp right in the beginning, just like your overdrives, okay? You can think of that like an overdrive pedal. Okay. Using your videos, what would be the top 3 videos to help me learn to solo? Owen, Minimalistic Blues on YouTube. Search YourGuitarSage Minimalistic Blues. YourGuitarSage Call and Response. And I would say watch the video of the 2 most important scales. So YourGuitarSage 2 most important scales, which is pentatonic and major. Okay. Okay. Talking guitar builds, how important is the body of a guitar versus the components? Is it worth upgrading the components of a cheaper Squire? For instance, is it like putting Pirellis on a Chevette? Yeah, it's like putting Pirellis on a Chevette, exactly. In my opinion, that's what it's like doing. So, the reason that a guitar is cheap is because they're taking workmanship out of it, workpersonship out of it, and they're also taking out like hardware and stuff like that. Okay, so it's really important that you understand that you're getting a cheaper guitar because they're making it cheaper. I know for some of you that's like so logical, and for me it's very logical. Some people just don't get that. They don't understand that that's what the deal is. Okay. Okay, let me check really quickly here on Facebook. Just make sure there's no last questions, and then we're going to head to lunch. Jason's saying, can you make one that's unfinished? Jason, not at first, right? Because we already have, let's see, 9 different style guitars that are going to be being built. So we already have 9 different kinds, including custom ones, right? So at first they won't be unfinished, but that being said, eventually we will. Now, the standard one essentially is we're thinking about going with like an India ink. So instead of a paint, we're thinking about going like a stain, an India ink. So that one may be considered unfinished. I'm not totally positive about that yet. Regarding pentatonic scale, I've just begun learning it. Do you just play notes within the scale? How do you find note combinations? Just noodling to what sounds good? Yes, David, that's how you do it. At first, just go with what sounds good, but you got to have the right key, right? So A major pentatonic will work great over A major chord progression. A minor pentatonic will work great over A minor chord progression. But typically, that will work great. What you're saying, just noodle. You got to learn what notes not to play, or you got to learn what notes to play by learning what notes not to play. Also, David, on YouTube, search minimalistic blues. Okay, that's going to help you a ton. All right, looking for some last questions here. Do you wish you could play a mean blues guitar? Join Eric, learn what I've been missing. Oh, thank you, Mikkel. Thank you so much, buddy. Indeed. Okay, yeah, lots of blues stuff inside of Unstoppable. Okay. All right, my friends, 2 things really quickly. Do not forget, if you hear my voice right now, listen. If you hear my voice and you have not already either joined UGS, which costs money, or gone to the free program, which is absolutely free, YourGuitarSage.com/30. There it is. We'll put the link inside the description, both on Facebook and on YouTube. If you haven't done this and you're asking me questions today, I implore you to go get this free program, okay? It's free for you. You stream it. It's got attachments, step by step. You can either do that or go spend hundreds or thousands of dollars even with a guitar teacher. You're not going to get where you're going to get with this. I can promise you that. We've had nearly 200,000 people go through this. That's a lot of people. And anyhow, I won't talk about it anymore. If you want to learn about guitar, that's where you want to go, even if you've been playing guitar for a long time. The other thing, friends, is head over to my Facebook right now. Don't forget, if you want to win a lifetime membership to the Unstoppable Guitar System, this post right here, 3 things you got to do. Like it, which you can see far left. You hit that button. Number 2, you comment, you hit that button, and you leave a little comment. And number 3, you're going to hit share, and then another page will appear, and then you can just hit post it or pin it or something like that. Do those 3 things. If you do those 3 things, you will be in the running to win over a $500 value of the lifetime membership to Unstoppable Guitar System /365. You'll win both. I'll also send out one of these beautiful books to you. Okay, Guitar Mastery Simplified. You can find these on Amazon. Those are those guys. Yeah, those guys are going to make it one day. Online purchasing of all sorts of things. You can buy widgets and books and things for the kids. Check them out, Amazon. Anyhow, I got 3 books on there, and I will send you one of those. Okay, cool. All right, my friends, great questions. You guys played full out today. We went longer than expected, so sorry about that. Today is Wednesday, so I won't be here tomorrow. I'll be doing more lessons. Join us next week. RJ will be here. Look him up online. Great player, great guy, great teacher. And yeah, join us then. I'll see you next week in another video too.